So here in Tajikistan, Rahman continues to maintain control thanks to two things. One, and this is traditional in Central Asia, and there are cases of this in the news for all the countries except Turkmenistan, lots of purported terrorist plots, including a fall 2013 report of a plot by a group of terrorists to launch attacks in the capital. And so Tajikistan frequently plays this up. Russia has its largest foreign presence in Tajikistan, not anywhere else in the world but Tajikistan, with 6,000 soldiers in 3 towns there. It actually just renewed an agreement in 2012 to keep those soldiers there until 2042. All this is part of this sort of we are under siege nature of rule. And the second aspect here is old-fashioned political rigging. For example, the 2013 presidential elections included Rahman and 5 virtual unknowns. Rahman ran around the country, opening schools and factories and visiting charities, smiling at the cameras, saying he was too busy for campaigning. Well, that was virtually campaigning. His opponents, by contrast, each got 30 minutes of TV time total and a debate the day before the vote. And throughout this period, purported challengers were actually praising Rahman. It's like they didn't want to become president themselves, which is also quite characteristic of Central Asian elections. The Tajik economy has had decent growth over the last decade and a half thanks to high cotton prices. Tajikistan is also the source of more than 40% of Central Asia's water, which means a couple things for Tajikistan. One, it means that it could benefit from hydroelectric power, something that it's been trying to get funding for and work on, but also that it has more strained relationships with the rest of Central Asia. It imports electricity from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan now, but it's a very delicate relationship where they control so much water in a very dry part of the world. And also remember where water is so poorly utilized. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan say that water is for sharing, that the water is a natural resource of the entire region and no one controls it. Well, the Kyrgyz and Tajiks, the Kyrgyz also have mountains, so they have water supplies as well. They have little else in terms of resources, and they say, hey, actually, this should be considered the same as oil and gas. This should be something that we can actually profit from. And so is this a source of tension? Well, I actually dealt with water issues when I was the political economic officer in the U.S. Embassy in Uzbekistan, and I brought this up a couple times to people in ministries. Could there be a violent struggle over water? And that was back in 2000. Everyone said no. But what are they going to say, really? There's always this, we all want peace. But at the end of the day, if you need water, you need water. And so this is a security concern. On the other hand, it's also a boon for Tajikistan if it can handle it well. Tajikistan, I should note, is still among the poorest in the region, with income per capita of around $800. It's about 15 times less than Kazakhstan. 15 times less. So, again, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, just like 50 years ago, remain the poorest parts of post-Soviet rather than Soviet Central Asia. Kazakhstan's doing much better. Uzbekistan's doing somewhat better. Turkmenistan, we don't really know, but we do know that the population's not really thriving like the state coffers are. So I'll take one more slide. Well, yeah, I'll take one more set of slides just to conclude here.